Okay, folks. Oh, there's my light, and there is my microphone. And I wrote notes this time. Maybe next year, a larger notebook. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Yeah. My name is, okay, we're good. Hey everybody, my name is Rose Williams. I'm the Lightning Talks Wrangler for Write the Docs, on and off, up and down, around the side, and all around. So, we are here for Tuesday Lightning Talks, and Tuesday Lightning Talks, oh, actually, I have to remind you, just in case you were not here on Monday, Lightning Talk is a somewhat impromptu talk, slides optional and at your own risk. Up to 5-minute talk. 5 minutes is not required. It could be 60 seconds, it could be 30. It's up to you if you are selected on what you do. And it rhymes sometimes. Anyway, all right, so our first speaker is But Did You Die? Doing Scared Things with Jennifer Evans. Jennifer, come on up. We're doing game show today, apparently. All right. Plug in. I reset the timer. Okay. You take that? Okay. Jennifer, your time starts now.
No, not yet. Okay. Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer Evans. Today I'm talking about doing scary things scared. So kind of a little background on me. I'm terrified to be up here right now. I'm shaking. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm not a public speaker, or I told myself I wasn't one yesterday, and I was watching all the lightning talks, and I was like, that looks terrifying to me. I don't think I could ever do that. So then I made myself sign up for one, and here I am up here doing this lightning talk. Thank you. I got my clicker. All right, we'll find out. All right, so, but did you die? Are you scared? Because I am scared. But in November, I got a call from my spine surgeon, and he said, based on your MRI, you need a decompression surgery in your lower back. And I said, great, sign me up. I've been in pain for 7 years. Let's get this ball rolling. He said, okay, one tiny thing though, I've only ever performed this specific surgery on cadavers. You would be my first live patient. And I was like, okay, I guess we have to do it. Let's do it. So fast forward to I'm in the hospital, and I don't know if anyone's had surgery before. Raise of hands if you have. Oh, look at that. Hey, all right, awesome. It's like half of you. So you know the anesthesiologist comes and talks to you. And I was shaking. I was so scared. He was like, what are you afraid of? And I was like, well, I'm going to go under. I'm not going to know what's happening to me. I'm in this room. People are cutting me open, and I'm like dead asleep. He goes, that's okay. We're going to give you something so you don't remember. I was like, that doesn't make me feel better. And then the nurse came in and she gave me what she called a margarita in a syringe. It's the good stuff. I felt so much better. And then I woke up 4 hours later, and I had a successful surgery. It was the first time they'd done it at that hospital too, so I was kind of a guinea pig, if you will. But basically that decision kind of forced me to think about life differently, and because I had to do the surgery, otherwise my quality of life would have been terrible, I had to move past my fears. So why am I telling you this? I've struggled with anxiety my entire life. I'm terrified of flying. I'm terrified of roller coasters. I have constant chaotic thoughts. What if this? What if that? Yeah, what if? What if I die? That's probably the worst thing that happens, right? I die. So instead of saying no to things or wondering what if endlessly, I just decided I'm gonna just do it scared. So here I am doing this scared in front of all of you, lovely people who are so kind. And I'm not dying. I'm okay. I'm up here just fine. And thanks to medication, thank God for medication, and just a little bit of mental retraining, I've started doing scary things. That's me and my family on Splash Mountain. And as you can see, we're really scared, but we're holding on and we're screaming. So I implore you, the next time you think, I can't do that, I'm too scared, or I don't want to, just do it scared. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And like with 90 seconds to spare, so well done, well done. All right, yeah, you totally nailed it. No objections to that statement. All right, let's see how fast I can plug in. Hey, here we go. Ooh, nope, there we go. All right. Michelle Knight. Michelle Knight is doing documentation, your data asset. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Michelle, you are doing without slides, if I recall.
Yeah.
Brave and bold.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, awesome, cool. Let me just get my handy dandy timer. And then we go. Ready, set. Okay, Michelle, your time starts now.
Okay. So I want you to think about this. Every document that you make is a piece of data that's shared across the organization. What do I mean by that? Well, in the old days, you thought of data as in a table and just catching data sets, or you're doing your documentation for your readers and they need to do something. But now with AI and with a new way of dealing with it, your document can be used in AI as a summary. Your coworkers could use it, depending upon what your processes are. And now you're responsible partly for that information. So what it needs governance. And what I mean by governance is it needs to be assured that it's truthful, that it's in alignment with what everything else other people are doing across the company. It also you need to have different kinds of roles and authority of your document. So you can say, okay, this person can do this, this person, just basically have that discussion with your organization. And the reason why you need that is because, well, data quality, again, making sure your document is valid. Also, you need it because of accessibility. You don't want to put your subject matter expert names in there, for example, and have that in your AI generation, but maybe you might want to make accessible some very common terms. So, and on top of that, you have to worry about or think about the ethical implications of AI. And that means that the outputs, what is being regenerated. If they're regenerating, you're using your content and regenerating it into a slideshow. Well, what does that mean? I mean, are they keeping the context? So what I encourage you to do is to find out from your organization who is doing your data governance and to get involved and to take a step there and to make sure that you have some ownership, some recognition that your documentation as data and realize that it could even possibly generate revenue. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Michelle. Wow, we are rocking, rolling, moving, grooving to the beat. Boop, boop. All right, so Ashley Gordon, I need an Ashley Gordon. You can exit right where Ashley is coming from. You can do a high five or not. Here, give me a high five, Ashley. I like a high five. Yeah, all right, Ashley. Ashley's coming up to tell us how she came back stronger than a 90s trend, surviving layoffs. Okay, let me get the thing, and then we go. Okay, Ashley, your time starts now.
Do I have any fellow Swifties in the house? Fewer than I was hoping, that's okay. My name is Ashley. I am a senior technical writer. I have 8 years of experience. In January, I was promoted to management, and then 2 weeks later, I was part of a mass layoff that cut 10% of the company. To say I was caught off guard is an understatement. Nobody prepares you to be laid off, and no class teaches you how to handle this situation. It is incredibly emotional. It upends your life entirely. Layoffs are happening pretty often right now, and it's really scary. But I want to make it less scary. So we do that by talking about it, and we do that by planning for it. So I'm not saying that we need a bunker with a year's supply of peaches and a mattress full of money. That is not what we need. But I am saying let's think about the steps that we would take after a layoff to get back on track and to take back some control of the situation. My biggest fear was losing my job, and then it happened. But I lived through it, and I am here to tell the tale. Thank you. I want to give you a stepping stone right now so that if this happens to you, hopefully you'll feel like you're a little bit prepared. So getting laid off, it's emotional, it's stressful, and those emotions will catch up with you. Layoffs trigger a grief response, and that can be akin to losing a loved one, that same type of feeling. You just lost your job, and in the United States especially, our jobs are just so tied to our identities. And they're tied to our day-to-day structure. So it is really important to leave room to experience this grief. If you have a therapist or someone else that you turn to for emotional support, talking with them sooner rather than later is a really good idea. I want to also take a moment to reject the idea that you have all this free time and now you should be productive with it. No, absolutely not. It is okay to not use this time to learn ceramics or train for a 5K or get your 3-month streak on Duolingo. It is okay to just survive. It is okay to go through the motions, apply to jobs, have a simple day. That's fine. You are living through a traumatic experience. Take it easy on yourself. If you can, find something that's going to give you structure or purpose, and for me that was dog sitting. It gave me a creature to take care of. They didn't expect anything from me except some love and attention and throwing a ball, and it forced me to leave the house so that I could take the dog on walks. Yesterday, in Janine Chan's talk, she was mentioning decoupling your self-worth from your job, and this has been incredibly important for me these past few months. So I encourage you to check in with yourself. Is your self-worth intertwined with your job performance? I spent the last 4 years pouring myself into my job, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about your work, but get curious. How do you value yourself? And if you want to make a change, working with a mental health professional is a really good place to start. So shortly before my layoff, I had this idea to make an SOP. What would I do if I lost my job? And unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to do it because I lost my job. So I did think about it a lot, though, ahead of time, and so I had some preparation in my back pocket. We know the basics, right? You have a resume, update it, save 3 to 6 months of living expenses just in case. But there are a couple other things that you can do, right? And first of all, that SOP, right? Mine included contact a financial advisor, lock down my non-essential spending, start dog sitting. I chose to keep some recurring expenses like a gym membership for my mental health. I also thought about severance, unemployment benefits. How does all that work? I definitely wanted to talk to someone about that. So, should I get a job at a coffee shop around the corner? Do I need to? Talking to a professional is really smart who knows finances. And then one of the best things that you can do is what you're doing right now, attending conferences and making connections. Networking isn't just about adding people on LinkedIn, it's about real human connection, creating that professional community that not only knows who you are, but cares about you. After my layoff, there was an incredible number of people that reached out to me, and I realized that networking isn't just about professional growth or project feedback or how many people I can invite to a webinar. It is about creating this village of people around you who get it and who understand who you are as a professional and care about your professional well-being. I am really deeply grateful that in my time of need, my professional community has really shown up for me. I'm still dealing with the emotional fallout of this experience, and I expect to continue to reckon with it in the coming months, but I know I can survive it, and I really hope that this never happens to you, but if it does, I hope that you feel a little bit prepared. Please know I am in your corner. I am honored to be a part of your professional network, and I will support you to the best of my ability if that time comes. Thanks.
Excellent. Right in the last 2 seconds. Thank you, Ashley. You're fantastical, as always. All right, next we have, who are you going to call? Check the phone book. By Jules, who is momentarily joining me on stage, but it's good. Her time has not started, and she's right. It's a little chilly up here. It's not a vibe thing. They're like, vibes, though? Claps, 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 claps. Come on. Did you know that 3 of our 5 presenters have never presented in any way, shape, or form at a Write the Docs conference, virtual or otherwise? So we got awesome new people doing great things and other folks who have done it before trailblazing ahead. So Jules, your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. So I have been here before. I wear this blazer just for this conference. So you have a problem. You need some help. You don't know who to ask for help these days, because layoffs happen, sorry, but you intend to find out. So who are you going to call? Is anybody here from the 80s? Who are you going to call? Okay, let me change the script. Who are you going to call? Check the phone book. Okay, so here's the real problem, though. Where's the dang phone book, and who keeps it up to date? So my name is Jules, she, her. I'm a socio-technical sorceress. I work as a software architect, engineer, product manager, UX design, and ops. So I build internal tools to support team knowledge management, specifically phone books. I like knowing who to call, because I don't actually know that much, but other people do. So why do you need phone books? You need to find your subject matter experts. We've been talking a lot about you need to go find somebody else to update your docs. So really it's like, who keeps those docs up to date? Who keeps the team knowledge of who's working on what up to date? So let me tell you about how I've done it, and if you want to come to the unconference in 15 minutes, I'll be downstairs and we can talk about it some more. So at my company, I joined when it was 150 people. You could just ask around. You drop into Slack and you're like, who worked on this? I don't know. Somebody will tell you. That was a while ago. Now there's 3,000 people. Some of y'all work at companies that are like 10, 20, 50,000 people. So we've grown up from you just ask people, or you can go look in Workday. Workday doesn't get updated very often. So it turns out there's a bunch of spreadsheets out there. And a bunch of different teams who are maintaining their own spreadsheets. And there's also like, you go into GitHub, the code owners will list, oh, this bit of the product is owned by this team or these people. We have a bunch of distro lists of Google groups where it's like, oh, you know, you're on this manager's team, you're on this guild, let's track you down that way. And it turns out the engineering team already maintains their own phone book because they have set up their own structures where if you want to get a production into service, you need to also have an entry in the phone book so that the SREs, when something breaks, knows who to page at 2 in the morning. So that's a lot of different data sources, and that means a lot of extra glue work when there's reorgs, when people leave the company, when people are forced out, when people join the company, when somebody moves around the company. I've been here for 8 years. I'm on my 6th team, which is why I'm on the phone book team. So we are trying to move towards yet another group management tool, one central database that everybody can update, and then the managers have to go approve your updates, with daily synchronization from, you have this old spreadsheet, you have this old database, you have this thing, let's take the central one and like sync everything up back and forth, and then we get to teach everybody, can you use it? So, who do we teach specifically? We go out and find who's already maintaining their phone books. It's like, it's the QA team, they need to know who to call. The SREs, they're keeping track of who to call. The security team's keeping track of who to call. They're our allies, they're our champions. We call them and go, you know, you found out somebody moved around and got reassigned, can you go update the phone book? And then somebody can just sign off on it? Great, cool, love it. So we hope it works, and we're also looking at other extrinsic motivations that we can track down, like the engineering team says or like the infra team says, if you want to get the service into production, you have to update the phone book or we're not going to let you release it. Or like the docs team, sometimes you get to say, you want to launch your product, but you haven't updated your docs. That includes both your product docs and who's responsible for them, who do you get to call. So you're just like, we're just trying to track down all these different ways that we can coerce, gently partner with people's intrinsic and extrinsic motivations where you already want to do this thing, so can you do this? Can you help us out? Because you're going to help yourself later, because otherwise you're going to get paged at 2 in the morning, and we'd rather be able to track you down at like 11:30 at night. So, yeah, in sum, it helps to have a phone book. Then you don't have to go asking around. Quicker to resolve issues, get things done on time, deal with security issues in the middle of the night, and there's a lot of ways to do it. Spreadsheets, more spreadsheets, yet another spreadsheet, somebody's notepad doc on their phone where they just compulsively write down people's phone numbers. Active Directory, this is a solved problem. There's a lot of team tools out there. So just, what's the one that's appropriate for you? And then go partner with the people who are already updating their phone books, or induce them to update it yourself. So find me on Conference 130 and on my Slack.
Thank you, Jules. Jules did a lightning talk a hot second back as my pocket continues to yell that the time is done. And so I know that she is okay with me coming and aggressively putting an end sign near her face. We talk. It's consensual. So our next person up is AK, and she's going to talk about haunted manuals. That is going to charge your computer, so I need to give you this cord. Yes, but if you want it charged at the same time, and since that was my fault by hiding the cord, I will stall for a hot 30 seconds more. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna hand this to you. So, AK, your time starts now.
All right. Hello. I am here to talk to you about haunted manuals. Oh, do we need to press play? I'm just going to keep talking. Okay. So, you have all, I'm sure, heard of the curse of knowledge. But could your manual also be haunted? Wait. Have you heard of the curse of knowledge? It would be ironic if you hadn't heard of the curse of knowledge. My slides aren't working. It's okay. I'm going to keep going. So imagine behind me that XKCD, if you have heard of the curse of knowledge, and if you haven't, who knows? So the curse of knowledge is a tendency for people who are really familiar with a topic to just really wildly overestimate how much everyone else knows about it. And then even when they compensate, they still don't compensate enough. Okay, it looks like, are they working? Are they working? No. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. It was at your own risk. So, now you've heard of the curse of knowledge, but is it possible that your docs are haunted as well as cursed? So, when I say docs are haunted, I don't mean, okay, you have an old manual. I love collecting old manuals. Yes! I don't mean just, hey, this cool old manual, can we go back one? Thank you. Is haunted by like an individual thing. I mean the actual content could be haunted. And what does that mean? Okay, next. So haunted manuals are a lot like haunted houses. I made these slides 5 minutes ago. So some of them got that way because something bad happened, like, I don't know, you forgot to update the links. Or some of them were born haunted, which is really weird. So, all right, so there you go. This is like a really beautiful manual I collected. Not haunted, but it looks really cool. So, you know, an old haunted manual might be something like, all the links broke because we migrated. We forgot to update the images. Or actually the company's out of business and it's just a whole bunch of old PDFs and they don't do anything anymore. Or someone loved it once, but everyone got laid off and no one updates it anymore. Like, it can be something really tragic happened, right? But also things can be haunted from the beginning. And this is really weird, but let me give you some examples. Like, let's say you're in a big company, and one part of the company is allowed to use a special term, but you're not, and suddenly, like, you're playing a game of taboo around a really normal word that you're just not allowed to use, and it's haunting it. Or let's say you had a process that you made up for a previous kind of CMS, and you still follow it really closely, even though it makes no freaking sense, and it's haunting the structure of your docs. Conway's law, I think that's called when you ship your org chart. That's also, I would say, a form of haunted. Like, it's this presence that arises. It can be a presence that's present or a presence that's absent. Like, maybe a thing that's haunting your manual is there are no technical writers, and it's really weird. Maybe the absence of a style guide is haunting your manual. All right. I want to talk about hauntology. So as a hobby, I like to read Derrida because it's like really indulgent to read a guy who will literally go on for 3 pages on one sentence. It's like recreational, super long sentences. Oh well, Derrida haunted me. So Derrida is the person who came up with the idea of hauntology. It's a combination of haunt and ontology. So, you know, it's a study of aunts. No, I mean, it's like the study of ontology, which is how things are. And he had this idea that the absence or presence of something can haunt things that are you, be sort of in the idea of like, oh, the specter of Marxism is haunting Europe. And so the specter of something else is haunting your docs. Okay, 1 minute, I will get there, great. 1 minute is exactly the amount of time I need. And so things can be, I think it's intuitive that something could be haunted because it's old. It's weird that something becomes haunted as it's created. And now I come to the end of this story. And I bet you thought I have a solution. No, this is a ghost story. There's no solution. I have never met, actually, any docs that aren't haunted, either over time or right away. The fear of something, the process, it could happen. And if you have a solution, I'm really happy for you. But I also just really needed to share this because I have been thinking about this idea for a couple of years, ever since I read Derrida, and I was like, oh no, I'm living in a haunted documentation set. And you probably are too. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Speaking of haunted, I was trying to figure out where my end sign went. It was here the whole time. What would you say if I told you, because of how excellent and on time everybody else was, we could do one more? One more? One more. One more. You don't have to scream it. So let me just unhide a slide. Dennis, can you come up here as I yell into the microphone a little bit? And instead, nope, not that one. How do I get out of this? Yeah. Tech support live on the stage. Do I remember how to use my slides? More at 10. Also, I can imitate a GPS and an answering machine, speaking of skills that do not have a ton of purpose outside of for funsies and satisfaction. All right. Dennis, you take, nope. All right.
Over here.
2 seconds, Dennis. Hey, this is Dennis. Dennis is going to be learning us how to learn us. It's going to be great. Dennis, take it away. You have 4 minutes? Can you? Yeah,
No,
okay.
I'll go quick. And I've got these cool slides. You can't see them. And I was going to talk about AI, but everybody's talking about AI, so I can't talk about AI. But I want to, so come talk to me about AI. So, since I can't talk about that, what I would talk about is this. I first came to write the docs in 2023, and I saw Caitlin Davey giving her presentation. And I was, oh yeah, she's amazing. I was totally impressed because I like to put stupid pictures into my documentation, right? Now, I always knew it worked. I didn't know why. I knew that people liked my docs and that the pictures helped them to learn. But it was after I watched Caitlin Davey's presentation, I found out about the book Multimedia Learning. And this one actually explains there is a scientific basis for the idea of giving your brain a break and being able to consume and ingest and put away the information as it comes to us. So that was great that I learned that, and I felt very verified by that. But since then, I have learned how to learn. And I recommend this book to all of you, Learning How to Learn by Barbara Oakley. Now, if you want to be a grown-up, you can read A Mind for Numbers, How to Do Mathematics and STEM Stuff. But it's the same stuff. The difference with Learning How to Learn is that it's written for 4th graders. So I could understand it. And what's really cool about this is that she explains the difference between trying to absorb a fact versus absorbing visual information. When you see a picture, it's like sticking it up in your middle school locker. It's just there and you remember it. But if you try to remember a fact, an algorithm, something like that, it's like trying to put toothpaste back in the toothpaste tube. It's really hard to get in there. So using lots of pictures, actually scientifically, will help people to understand what you're reading intuitively. And this is the reason I am justified in using so many pictures in all of my documentation. Now there's science behind it. There wasn't 40 years ago. I just said, damn it, it works and people like it. Now it's science. So go out and make people look at your pictures and make them enjoy everything you write. That's all I'm saying.